All right, welcome to yet another episode in a long catalogue and list of episodes of Aussies taking over the NBA. We have a Milwaukee Bucks season halfway point review of what is happening, and we've gone through the numbers, and everything looks pretty good for the Bucks at the moment. They are sitting, I think, top of the East.
Top of the East.
Obviously, Thon Maker is the focal point of our discussion today, and then obviously we'll say a little bit about Delhi because Delhi did come into it at the start of the season before being traded to the Cavs. If you want to hear about the Cavs, you can find our Cavs wrap that we did, I think, last week. We've also done one for the Celtics, the Philly 76ers, and the Jazz. We'll knock out a couple more before All-Star break, which happens, I think, in about
3 weeks?
4 weeks. About 10 games, according to this B-Ball Ref site. But yeah, as always, you can find us on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on YouTube. You can say hello to us on our Facebook page, give some feedback, say g'day, tell us what you want to hear, tell us what you think of the podcast. Give us a rating and review if you're on iTunes. That always helps us get us out there. But as always, like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends, and we'll keep making this content for you. But today, the Milwaukee Bucks, a meteoric rise, would you say, Andy?
I would say a meteoric rise. I would say that it is the most gimmicky style of play, but it's working. Like, we have not seen a volume of threes like this before. We've seen players like Brook Lopez turn into hilarious shooting machines. Just grab and shoot from anywhere on the court and just pop them. They've picked up a couple of good players. They've picked up a couple of not so good players. We've had players that really started quite well and have really dropped off a fair bit. But
who's that one that's not done so well? Oh,
that's George Hill. He is trash. $19 million of trash.
So
I'd be hating on him. They also have the only 50-40-90 player in the NBA,
which is
Malcolm Brogdon. The dude is shooting 98.7% from the free throw.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think he's only missed one.
He's missed one free throw. He's just having a lights out season.
Fantastic.
Shooting above 40% from the three.
It's really expanded. Like, the way they're playing this season has really expanded him into the hole that's left by that such a spread offense. He's just like, I get a nice lane to the hoop now. This is nice. I'm just going to pump fake, put the ball on the floor and get to the hoop. He's scoring really well at the hoop. But obviously, like George Hill, like you don't like George Hill, but he was the main part of that Delhi trade.
He was the main part of that Delhi trade. I think that Coach Bud really didn't feel like Delhi fit into the team. He did not kind of work in their style of roster as a backup point guard. I think they felt like Bledsoe was definitely a bit better and they could run that weird Giannis style where they didn't really need a conventional point guard. They just needed a guy who could get to the line and shoot the three ball effectively. And I don't think that's Delhi's style. Delhi's very much that ball handler, facilitating guy. So it was a good trade, I think, for Delhi going back home to Cleveland. Definitely good for Australian basketball. And you guys picking up George Hill to get some cap space open next year and potentially re-sign Giannis to the max, give Chris Middleton some more money, and pick up another player in the meantime.
So Delhi ended up playing 8 minutes, mostly garbage time, and not really doing much. I think he averaged 1 or 2 shots in a game and then 1 assist a game. So it was good to see him move to a better home where he's now playing some more minutes. So Milwaukee as a team, Milwaukee, you can laugh at our Australian pronunciation. They are 30-12. So at the time of this, I think they're second in the NBA, the Eastern Conference. Mike Budenholzer was the guy who came in and took over from Jason Kidd, who was fired, and then Joe Prunty was their interim head coach. So they're leading points per game, which was first out of 30. Opponents' points per game, they're 9th out of 30. And then offensive rating, they're 4th in the NBA. And then defensive rating, 2nd in the NBA. So defensively, they're
smashing it
top
as well.
tier,
As well as locking it down and shooting lights out on some of the three ball action. We've really been seeing Coach Bud just
Yeah, he's worked wonders with this roster. It's been fantastic. So another one of the guys that you were saying that they brought in was Ersan Ilyasova. That was at the start of this season. And then I think they signed Pat Connaughton as well, who Connaughton had a nice explosion at the start of the season. Tapered off a little bit.
And DiVincenzo started really well and there's just kind of...
Yeah, drafted this year, DiVincenzo. Yeah, I think he got injured and then they kind of just held him back a little bit.
Yeah.
He started really well. Good perimeter defender. I think that was also one of the reasons why Delhi wasn't getting that many minutes because of how advanced DiVincenzo was in the pecking order and the rotation. But Thon Maker this season, what do you make of like his progression this season? It's his third season now.
It's his third season now. We can go to his full bio. Look, he's one of those guys that I don't think fit into Coach Bud's original plans, and then has kind of exploded in the last 2 or 3 weeks in terms of minutes, hitting the three ball at a good clip. He had a really weak run. So this season he's averaging last season he averaged 16.7 minutes per game. Shot the three ball at 30%. This season I believe his stats are up a fair bit.
Yeah.
So hitting the three ball this year at 33%.
Yep.
Right on 1-on-3. His field goal percentage has gone way up, 65%, 61.5%. Getting those blocks, 18 blocks this year thus far in 32 games. He didn't block that much more in 57 in his first year. Had 53 big blocks last year. Had a blinder year on the defensive end last year. But definitely looking at that high scoring option as well. Just all round improvement in a system that he didn't really understand.
Well,
I think
it's his style doesn't really fit this spread the floor and make things happen type offense.
No.
Obviously his biggest weakness is probably putting the ball on the floor and getting to the hoop, which if you look at their roster in general, your guys that have really excelled for them have been Bledsoe, Middleton, Brogdon, even they can all put the ball on the floor and get to the hoop. Like that's where we've gotten guys out of the way. Now we've got this nice lane to the hoop. How good's this? This is working out great. But obviously that's not Thon's strength. He's more of a catch and shoot style player and then an anchor defensively where you've also got Giannis there, which is like a mutated freak that kind of can do everything. Like he can do it all. And it's kind of almost penalizing to Thon where you can't do it all, so therefore you don't really fit. And it's like, yeah, but if you funnel guys to him, then he's going to block shots. Or if you let this guy come over on the weak side and block shots, then he's going to block shots. But obviously, they're still working that out. I think he's
like the Iguodala effect. He just turned... Like, he'll have some quiet games. He had a really big game the other week that actually won them the game. But then he turns up for the finals and he's this hustle guy. He's like the heart and soul of the team. He's the guy that all the fans are cheering for. He's the guy that gets Giannis hyped because he's a big play guy. Like he may not do anything and he just comes up with some ridiculous big plays and it gets the team going.
Like a spark energy,
he's a spark
type
plug.
stuff.
He's like that injector. He's like the TJ McConnell of Philly. He's kind of like the Marcus Morris of Boston. He's that really high energy, dude that's going to get in there and get things sorted.
So if you looked at his stats, obviously you'd be looking at these stats going, this is pretty poor. Like averaging 5.1 points a game, like that's not great. But when you watch him play, you get a sense of intrigue about what his game can actually do. Like you look at this guy and you just go, wow, like this guy can block shots really well. He obviously doesn't get in this system, he doesn't get the credit usually for being able to alter shots. Obviously, it's not a quantifiable metric.
Yeah.
But I still think when he's on the floor defensively, he alters guy. And he holds his own defending the perimeter. Like sometimes he might get abused a little bit. I think in general, teams are getting a lot better now at like pump faking and off the dribble to the hoop or dribble drive penetration. I think teams are starting to get a lot better at that in general. So I would be surprised if everyone's numbers aren't slightly down on the perimeter defensively. Like you're not seeing, and like you sort of saw in the last 5 years, like an emergence of like, wow, that guy's a lockdown perimeter defender. Whereas now you're even seeing those guys, it's just like, wow, like he was like a lockdown defender 3 years ago and he's just getting destroyed out here. Like what's up with that? So I think he can hold his own as a switch guy on the perimeter. We saw that against Houston. Well, we didn't see him do it, but we saw like the interaction of him having to switch. He showed he could do it effectively, but obviously he kind of made a bit of a bonehead play and got yanked, so we didn't see much more of him.
Yeah.
But that's just sort of unfortunate. But shooting the ball, I think if he can raise that three-pointer maybe to 38, 39% on maybe 4 or 5 looks a game, I think that's where he's going to be of a real help to this team. It's mainly corner threes. I think he's mainly playing, if we look down here, he's mainly playing center. So he's played a little bit of power forward, but mostly at center. I mean, if you look at his field goal percentage by distance, around the rim, it's not good. If you look at it here, between 16 around the rim, it's listed at 0. So he hasn't taken any shots around the rim, basically.
Yeah.
He had a couple. I think he was fouled on one and one in that game against, who was it? That
Jazz.
Spark Plug game, the Jazz. Yeah. Aussie on Aussie crime there. But that's where I think, as a screen guy, like a guy who screens, he's the pop is basically all he has. He doesn't have the roll and finish. They don't look to go for that. Basically because he's on the floor with Giannis there most of the time, and then the other designated scorer in the staggered rotation is usually Middleton, and then Brogdon's main aim is to get to the rim as well, or shoot the 3 ball if he's wide open. So I can understand if you looked at these stats and just went, really, like they're terrible stats. They're not great stats. What's going on? What are we talking about? But when you watch him play, he's a spark plug. He's an energy guy. Getting that field goal percentage up towards 50% is going to be really good, and that 3 ball up to 35%
definitely
will be really important. The Bucks as a team, what do you see their high upside as?
It's Giannis. I don't think he's reached his full potential.
Nah, it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very scary.
Like we've said it a few times.
I think he started off, I think in December or January, and he's shooting the 3 ball like 47%. If that ever be, I know.
Yeah, wow. Because he was shooting at like
22.
12%.
Yeah, it's like, it's something ridiculous. It's like 40 something percent. Up until last time I looked, it's just, it's.
So 17% the 3 ball he's shooting at the moment. But that doesn't take into account like recent games.
Yeah, recent games. I believe it was.
But that's still pretty terrible, man.
Oh, it's terrible.
But only 2.4 looks a game for Giannis. So that's all right.
He's not silly. He's not going to take high volume. But it's a part of his game he can really.
I don't think his body's built to shoot threes, man.
No, it's
like,
not.
Have you even seen him try and shoot in the lane? Like, his form is very, like, everything's super straight and super stretch, and then it's all kind of cocked with the wrist. Like, he doesn't have that smooth game. Whereas you look at Thon, and Thon's jump shot, like, oh, that's a smooth jump shot.
He's got a nice 3-point shot as well.
But he's like, Giannis's ability to get to the rim is like, it's godlike. It's freaky, man. Some of the stuff he does.
God of War.
I saw this like still shot of him, and he's doing like almost the splits between 2 guys trying to defend him. And it's like he's got the ball in his hand about to like he's doing a Euro step or something. Yeah. And he's like doing the splits like in between 2 guys, and you're just like,
I think he had.
How do you defend that?
I think from halfway he had 1 dribble dunk.
Jeez.
From halfway.
From the 3-point line, I think he can like 2 steps and he can dunk. Insane, man. And I wonder how like the way the game's going, I wonder how more advanced, because I noticed that players are getting more advanced with their last step before they shoot the ball. Yeah. Like they're actively looking to plant their last step in a totally different location near, like away from a defender. It's not just about, I'm just going to get to the rim and like my 3 steps are going here. Because that's where usually teams, or players rather, they'll work you out and go, oh, I know he's going to step there and I'm going to be here to block the shot. Yeah. So they're getting better at, I'm going to step, like he thinks I'm going to step there, but I'm going to step like 4 feet away and shoot like this. And you're starting to see the advancement of the game where I wonder how far that's going to go. Like,
the problem is from last year to this year, we're just like, oh, could any more 3 balls be scored? The answer is yes. One, some of these guys who are like premier centers are just nothing. And then we're going to this small, like a lot of guys, 6'8's their biggest player, and it's this small ball quick game where 150 points are scored. So it's almost like defense is dropping, and it's just this constant need to score in transition and get to the 3 ball. It's very, very strange. Who knows where it's really going? Weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird.
I think it's centers being able to shoot is now.
But that's the thing. It's not like it was. But I mean, how much has the 3-ball gone up in the last 10 years? It keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. Especially with the Bucks. Let's do some ratings.
Yeah, ratings.
Thonatron.
Thon. I had him as a C+.
B-. I think that he adds something a little bit more to this team in depth as a 7'1" guard forward. Sorry.
Guard, what?
Yeah, a 7'1" forward. I think that his potential hasn't been reached, but I think, we're starting to see a few more things. I think he's one of those guys you plug into certain teams. Like, he's a perfect guy to play in a sense against Gobert to take him out of the paint.
Yeah.
Because you've got Giannis who's just... Gobert's one of those guys who can fill the lane for Giannis, but if Thon takes him out of the paint, Giannis... They have no one to stop Giannis.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's where he's used well. He's not going to be good against a small ball lineup. Houston, useless.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Chubb, small ball lineup, no good. All right, Giannis. Let's start with the big man.
Yeah.
A+.
Yeah, A+. A+ across the board for Giannis.
Just crazy. Like,
when people were saying, I remember you and I were talking about it before we started this podcast. We were just like, what is he going to be? Like, is he going to be good? Like, you got a sense of it's not quite going to work. And even a foreboding sense of, will it work? Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to do this. But then watching him this season, you're just like, all right, you get everyone out of the way. And suddenly he can just take on like 4 guys and just toss it to someone. And
it's essentially the Harden
3 guys
effect.
are going to be open.
It's Harden, but in a weird, gimmicky other way. Like, Harden is an amazing player.
Yeah.
Hate his guards, but completely amazing shooter.
Yeah, like basketball, in a pure basketball sense, like the guy's unbelievable. Like Harden is a fantastic player, but a keg, whereas Giannis is like a long alien freak in a different way. Like a lot of where Harden's abilities lie are those little sneaky moves and the bodying people, bodying people in the lane and really physically abusing people. Whereas Giannis, he doesn't need to do that. Kind of steps around people. And
just steps around and just puts a hand over the top of them.
Yeah, it's insane. The real rapid growth that you've seen in him, I didn't really envision it because I couldn't see past the just move everyone out of the way. Yeah. Like it was too easy to look at that and just go, oh, right, you just move everyone. And he's got 4 guys on him all the time or 3 guys on him and 2 guys are going to be open. Like you're just playing the percentages game. Why didn't I see that? It's just far too easy to think that was going to happen, but it did happen. And he's got some good players obviously around him, Lopez and stuff like that. Middleton.
Yeah, let's go to Chris Middleton. Look, he went cold there for a bit, so I'm going to give him a B+. But he's definitely between that B+ and A- player. Yeah. He's probably not an all-star. He's probably never going to be an all-star. But he's like the guy you want to have on your team that's a $20 million guy that's just going to score 20 points a night. Yeah. You got 20 in the bank from Chris at this clip, and that's all it is.
I think he can be an all-star, but in this system, he's not going to get the recognition. But it's not going to work.
He potentially will get a ring.
Yeah, possibly if they win in the next couple of years if he stays there.
Yeah, and he'll be off contract this year.
Brook Lopez.
Brookie, completely a novel player in this team, shooting 3-ball from pretty much anywhere on the court he likes. Look, he's gone from the Lakers where he was just like, oh yeah, it's Brook Lopez, and to this team you're like, oh shit, it's Brook Lopez.
Yeah. I still can't get over watching this guy, man. Last year on the Lakers, he just looked slow, yet at the same frame rate and pace. So your brain couldn't compute what was happening. Like you're watching him and just going, it's so slow. It doesn't make sense. But now you watch him and just like, he's like a normal speed, like working like a normal human being.
The Lakers are a fast team. They're a young, fast team. So kind of didn't work. But yeah, man, I'm giving that dude a B+.
I did a B for me because, look, defensively he gets a bit block happy and fouls a little bit, and defensively can kind of be exploited a little bit.
But in this system, he works perfectly.
Yeah, it works perfect because he's just got that license to shoot the 3 from anywhere. So no matter where he is on the court, he's going to jack up a shot, and it's like, yeah, you keep doing that. Yeah, love it.
Let's go to Eric Bledsoe. Bledsoe looked solid point guard, had a good season. Up and down at times, B-.
B- for Andy. I went with a B because of the growth he's had from last year. Last year, when they made that trade, you didn't go, great trade, like that's perfect, like he's going to fit there. You kind of went, he kind of does some things that you want there, but
Yeah.
it's not. But this year, the same thing. Like, get people out of the way. He's like, oh, I just have this clear lane to the hoop, and I can just butter my bread on this, like go into the hoop like this, sweet.
Yeah.
And then the flow on effect from that, he has growth to everybody because everybody goes, oh, he's just doing that. Oh, if I just get in this slipstream, I can do that too. And Brogdon, like you've seen, we'll go into Brogdon now. But
I'm going to give Brogdon an A-.
Well, I went with A. Well, I didn't go with it. I just kind of thought about it just then. What did you A-?
A-. I mean, still young in his career. I think this is his third season. Same class as Ben Simmons. He's just improved. It improved and improved and improved. And there is no reason why he can't be a Bradley Beal in 3 years.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Jumper's a bit ugly, but
yeah,
it works, man.
50, 40, 90.
Yeah, it works. And again, it's the same as Bledsoe, where the same thing. Like, they're just making this sweet lane for me to just get to the hoop, and then when 4 guys are on Giannis, I just have to stand here because the playing the percentages, I'm always going to be open. I could just shoot the 3 ball at will when he tosses the ball out. Just get in the corner. But the personal growth from him from a personal level has been phenomenal. It's been great to watch. Who else do we want to
go on to George Hill? Look, I'm going to be honest and just give him a C+.
C+. I'm
going to be generous, and the reason, like, you know what, he's one of those players. He's probably a good veteran, 33 years old, good to have around your team. Just doesn't do anything for me in terms of the game. Yeah, he shoots the 3 ball at 40%. Yeah, if you take 1 shot every 6 games, that's pretty much it. He's not. That's
all you need to do in this team.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they're shooting the most threes in the league. So.
No, that's not.
You have to put up as many as you can. I went with nil because he's kind of not really been there very long.
Yeah, all right.
It's kind of like pointless to rate him.
Ersan Ilyasova.
Man,
he's a B. B to B+. Such a defensive machine. Greatest charge taker probably under Kyle Lowry. So good at getting the charges. Yeah. Shoots the 3 ball, spaces the 4, can play the 5. So versatile. One of the most versatile players in the league for an older guy. Great veteran to have around.
Smart player too.
Player. Yeah,
definitely. Bit of a dagger in your heart that he's not at Philly.
Man, fucking Wilson Chandler 12 mil, Ersan Ilyasova 7 mil.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
He just wanted a 3-year contract. That's all he wanted.
Why didn't they give it to him?
Because they're fucking idiots.
It's bizarre.
Anyway, Pat Connaughton, I'm going to give a C.
Yeah, you're happy with a C.
Yeah, it just does nothing for me.
I go B- because I thought he was really good. Like, he really fit that team at the start of the year. Like, hustle off the bench, Chubb kind of guy. Really strong in the post, could shoot the 3 ball. And then, I don't know if he got injured, but it just kind of went, whoa, where did that guy go? That guy's, that's not, you're not the same guy, Pat. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, just turd.
So I still think he gets, what did you have, C+?
Yeah, C+.
I still think he offered something to at least go, not bad.
Yeah, but then he's just kind of turded it up. All right, Dante
DiVincenzo.
Play started well, but C+, I think he's got a lot to work on just to get into the league, get his body fit, get everything going.
B for me, because I think he's shown a lot of promise. He's shooting the 3 ball really well. Defensively on the perimeter has looked pretty good too. For a rookie, I think it's been important for him to really lay a marker down. And I think it was one of the big catalysts for why Dellavedova ended up leaving.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone else?
Yeah, we look at Tony Snell. Tony Snell's probably the only one up there. Decent guard, 6'7", bit oversized, could shoot the 3 ball all right. Just that good bench rotation play gives you some efficiency sometimes. I'm going to give him a B- as well. Yeah. And then we can kind of go onto the bench. We don't need to rate them. But DJ Wilson, he's played 15 games. Christian Wood's played 6, averaging under 5 points a game. Same with Jalen Morris. Jason Smith's not really that good.
Tell you what, Sterling Brown's actually played really well for them.
Yeah.
Off the bench. He wasn't really playing at all, and it was kind of competing with Thon Maker. They went with Sterling Brown a lot in the final series against Boston.
Yeah.
And then it was like they went to Thon Maker, and you went, why weren't you doing that to begin with? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, but he's another one who's kind of benefited a lot from this system where clear guys out of the way, and I've got more room to work with.
Yeah.
Obviously, again with Thon, it's not like for Thon. It's like no. I need guys to move around, and I need bodies to bang up against, and guys in my way. I don't need guys to get out of the way because I need guys to toss me the ball, basically.
Yeah.
And then so that's pretty much about it for the Bucks. It's just been fantastic to watch them.
Good to watch. Looking forward to the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, guys. Remember, you can like, share, and subscribe.
High praise. What did you pick them on the over under? Can you remember?
No,
I think over. I think we both had them over.
We definitely had them over. I think that they, the Giannis factor. But we'll go back to that.
Yeah, we'll go back to that next week.
Next week,
maybe closer to All Star. We'll just do a halfway time.
Yeah. Sounds good. Maybe
live stream it and we'll show everyone our picks on the board and stuff. So
yep.
All right.
Peace out, peeps.
Take it easy, peeps.
Bye.